Welcome to Gray Mason Gaming plays Solaris in the new Callisto Galaxy. Now, this right now, I haven't played in a while. I wanted to do a new video, but I really only have about 2 or 3 weeks, and this game may go longer. So I'm going to play hard and normal at the beginning, and then just give my stars probably to whomever is in position once my kids come home from college and I don't have time to be on this as often. So I'm going to try something a little bit abnormal, a little social experiment. Um, if you've played Solaris, some of the folks in the Stone Ape games, order of the eye. Order of the Eye, I think it's the only. Yep, and he's a player. Stone Ape has a large guild. I'm in it. Of players, and then you have maps. I played with all these people. You'll see my other videos. So I'm Order of the Stoned Maps too. Now they're going to be able to tell who I am when you look and see my rank. I'll show up in the list, but until then, what I decided to do is just to have a little fun with it. In the thread where it's like everyone's like the global thread, everyone is saying hello, welcome, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna see how long. I think I'm just gonna try to hold to this persona of completely spelling things wrong. They're gonna instantly know it's me, but lucky. Uh, where is it? Here we go. Order of I'm looking for an ally. I'm new to the game. Please mark me ally and give me your tech. Order of Isaac. Oh, great. Ally? I mud you ally. We trade. Send tech, please. Game hasn't even started yet. I'm asking for tech, but I'm in a pulsar here, so everyone can see me. And the other thing on this map, we started with a ton of money, so I was able to get an early 12 science by pumping up the science on my home star to 5 and then building the research station to double it to 10. So I'm going to get in the first cycle experiment 2 and banking 2 all on my own. We'll trade around with other people for that. So he said, yeah, let's do that. And then I said, done. Now I'm allies. Now all my 31 are my allies. I friend you all and friend of all. Vow only to defend self. Now I'm not going to do that. I'll absolutely attack people. I'll come up with some trumped excuse, but we'll see how long this little thing can play out. You'll see my diplomacy. I went through and I friended every single player, including the open slots, and we'll see who reciprocates. And we are off. The game has begun. We are on the 6-hour countdown, and it's been 40 minutes since the final spot was filled by the Jewish Star Empire. And so we immediately allied up. What was great is he happens to have a wormhole, so there's me, Order of the Stoned Maps too. I had already been in conversations with Kip, who had a black hole, so he knew I was to his east. We already agreed to work together, so I was excited to have that in place, and even more excited when then JSE came on board, and now we have this solid line. Within 10 minutes, we start talking about who else is around us. Waven, if you've watched my other videos, you know I played with him, and he's a very strong player. And so you want the strong players on your side, because if they're not on your side, they're fighting you. And we don't need that early on. So he kind of stabbed me in the one game, but I'm not going to hold that against him. Turning a new leaf. So we have this, and that means Kip's going to have to push into Calvin. Sorry, Calvin. Jewish Star Empire says there's some really juicy stars between him and the Hitchhiker, so he'll probably go into Hitchhiker. Waven will have his choice of all of these. And so if you look back at me, I don't know yet who I'm going to be fighting, but we do have a couple black holes that I should get to this way. This black hole binary star will get me connected to my allies to the west really quick. And then it actually kind of worked out well, because before I knew all this, I spent tokens to get the Raider to get twice as fast to my northeast, which is where I'm going to be fighting. So that kind of worked out. And the 5th member of the alliance is going to be Lord Metrititus, Lord Metrititus, Metrititus, Lord M. The Lord M will be the fifth player. So we have Waven, Lord M, JSE, Kip, and me. 5 solid before the game even got 1 hour in. We'll see soon what else is around us, and yeah, right now I'll be pushing, probably attacking whoever happens to be to my east. Cycle 1. Well, let's go through the series of events that have gotten us to day 1. You can see as things start off, it's mostly as expected. Very quickly I get to a star where I'm able to see Kip, as I knew he was. I see a stone ape to my south, and we start to talk and figure out, can we work together? A little bit of banter, but nothing too committal. Now we do end up seeing that there's going to be a couple of collisions here, and so we do ally up to avoid that, and I get a pretty good view of what's going on, including his home star. And so at this point, I have Lord M, I have Kip and my allies over here, I know JSE's right over here, Waven's about there, and I'm feeling pretty good. I reach out to Solaris 345 and AJ 568, and I do wonder, like, okay, what's up with them? Kip 336, like, am I missing out on the memo where you put 3 digits after your name? But anyway, no word back from Solaris, and AJ, at least at this point, 8 hours in, no response. So my thinking is, okay, oh, also, Kip's got this wormhole that leads right to Solaris. I'm like, oh, this is a great first target. So we progress, and as I make a few more landfalls here, I see Eye of the Order of the Eye, whom I've allied with before, and I know, and so we start to dialogue as well. Now, about this time, I also reached out to, well, Vambrance reached out to me. He's allied with Hitchhiker and Amherst, and they want to trade tech. People start noticing at this point that my tech is, I have multiple level 2, so they know I'm in an alliance. It's not a big surprise, but they want in. And so Amherst is right on the border of JSE. Let's see if I can pull that up. So this is Amethyst, and you can see he's close to Hitchhikers. He's near Waven. So having Amethyst allied with Hitchhiker, JSE, and Waven is great, because that means they can focus on Limiting Factor and other folks, maybe even Order of the Eye. If we look at the view from Hitchhikers, he's got Newt on his side over here, and sees Absentee Ape. So that is a natural way for him to go. So we ended up inviting them, and that makes alliance number 6, 7, and 8. Let's see, Amethyst. Who else? This is Waven's view. He's got Ruthless Traitor, who's been attacking the Jewish Star Empire since like tick 1. So Waven, Kip, and I all border a stoned ape. And Waven's going to be attacking Ruthless Traitor. Beyond that, this is Lord M. He's got this Calvin guy. Oh, I think we invited him too. I think he's in our alliance now. Honestly, so what are we at? 9, 10. I've honestly a little bit lost count of how many are in the alliance. It's got a little carried away. But he sees Jason, so he also is going to take over this wormhole and help with Stellaris. Who else was important to see? We've grown a little bit too much. This was JSC. I don't know what he's done to his UI. This is just god awful. But Ruthless Traitor jumped in here and started attacking his stuff. So, where we're at on tick 10 is this 3 industry buildup on this wormhole. starts to become a problem, and then the AI takes over and launches, which leaves only 10 there. So I'm like, okay, guys, attack now, because we have weapons too. So I'm like, go, go, go. At this point, my southern border's established, western, and in the north, here's another little thing. AJ has not been responsive. And actually, let me go back a little bit. So I have my raider here, and he could easily take all these stars, but he wasn't paying attention. He wasn't logged in. And I have a raider, and it was going to take me, he could easily blow me up. But I risked it. I risked it for the biscuit and got here. And right here is when he woke up or logged in or paid attention. And he had committed this guy over here and moved away. So then I was able to use my raider to go and snag this juicy little morsel. And then I see the star up here. I'm like, don't mind if I do. And so I went and grabbed that too. And then I said, oh, another star. I'll take that one too. Oh, look at that. Train track, who is also a bot. And so now I ran out of juice. You know, I just leaving one little ship behind. But I got 1, 2, 3, 4 stars I absolutely shouldn't have. Plus this cluster here is a little bit questionable. If I didn't have my raider, great visibility. But I had some good conversations with AJ, and basically said, go get yourself built up, go kill train track. And this is a wormhole that he can see like most of my base. I told him, I'm moving away from you. I think he's going to be good with me. He has to join the alliance too, and I pointed him to JSC. I don't want anyone else. I want to kill him at some point, but we need to deal with other threats first, like finishing off Solaris. So you can see here that that Lord M came in here, and for some reason the AI, well, they're defending their home star, but they're dealing with that. And Kip basically is concerned because Stone Dape was putting a bunch of his ships along the border, and so I'm like, all right, everyone attack Stone Dape. So in 10 hours I land on this wormhole. This wormhole has great vision of my base. I'll take that from Stone Dape, and then all he'll see is my most southern stars. Luckily, I did temporarily lose this star, but just for 2 hours. And yeah, and now I'm kind of protected from Stellaris. And so I think I'm just going to route everything into Stone Dape now. The other thing that happened is Stellaris lost this wormhole to CF Man, who came from somewhere down here ish. And I'm trying to talk him into attacking Stone Dape. So we'll see. I mean, when you have half the galaxy aligned with you, if they stick to it, like, we'll just win and then we'll fight amongst ourselves. Not a big fan. It's really too much, but we'll see. It'll probably break down. It's literally tick 23, so it's a little premature to declare victory. But we do have a pretty good thing going. I'm at 24 stars, and yeah, start taking Stone Dape. So we are at the end of Cycle 1. I'm recording this because it's going to be many days. It's a Thursday. I'm going to leave Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's going to be 3 days before I can record again, and a ton's going to happen. I don't want to lose sight of one very critical thing that happened in this time window. So we got big, and within my area, nothing really changed. You can kind of see nothing really changed too much, except for this. I attacked Stone Dape. And I attacked Stone Ape because it became apparent that Waven has stabbed me. The second out of 2 times we allied in a game that didn't have set teams. So I told him, hey, I don't blame you. We got too big too quick, took away his path, and he said I wasn't even really an issue of expansion. I could have and should have been, if I was playing nice, been attacking Ruthless Trader, who was attacking JSC's capital. But he wanted to take a more interesting route, where he doesn't want to be part of this Big 10 player alliance. So So that happened. As a result of that happening, we went ahead and added maps to the group. So maps 1, and he was a little reluctant at first. He'd been being courted by the Ruthless Trader, Stoned Ape, and Waven team. I'm assuming Orange Man's with them as well. So there's this coalition. I assume Karmadrome is with them as well, so that's probably 5. Order of the Eye is probably with them as well. That's probably 6, at least. And then the other thing is I found out that the hitchhiker was Falcon, who is a player who's just argumentative, and I just don't enjoy playing with because I stabbed him the first time we played, and he's holds a vendetta, and now he just wants to stab me. So every game he's rooting for my demise. So having that player on your team is not good. Not good. So I'm saying it now on tick 37, he will turn and stab us. We just can't do anything about it right now because he brought Vambrance and Amherst. Waven is attacking Amherst down in here. Ruthless Trader is attacking JSE. Karmadrome is about to attack JSE from the north. Kip is defending against Stoned Ape and going to hit Waven and Stoned Ape, and I'm hitting Stoned Ape. So it's already begun. And meanwhile, I'm just hoping AJ continues to play passively. He moved this group of ships here, he said, for defense, which may be true, but I'm going to move some ships back to defend then too as well. It just makes me nervous. I'd love to kill him and have Vambrance come up here and kill him with me and split that. And then Train Track is an AI. We could split that, and then we could grow up here while we kind of hold the line in the south. That would be ideal. And we also reached out to Order of the Eye to see where he stands. So that's it. I'm going to have to take some good notes because it's going to get... a lot's going to happen between now and 3 days from now. And we're back. Let's jump right in. When I left many days ago, I was in this war with a Stoned Ape. And one thing you can tell, even from just this, is I lose a long fight because I'm north to south, I'm narrow, and he's narrow the left to east to west. And since I'm trying to hit him, he can get his reinforcements to the front line much faster and more efficiently than I can. And because of that, I can't just do... I'm going to lose unless I have some other advantage. So I get with Kip and said, let's make an aggressive play. The other thing is we have one thing that on tick 37 a lot of people aren't really paying attention to, and that's the random warp gates. Rarely do they matter at this point in time. And when you look at his warp gate here that was just randomly spawned, there's really nothing you can do with it. However, I have an extra range. And with that extra range, I can reach his star. And so I coordinate with Kip. I said, let's go ahead and attack together. And so you'll see here. The other thing I notice is he's ferrying ships off and leaving his home star very undefended. And so I said, that is a great thing. Let's try to take advantage of that. Oops, and that happened really quick. That was the point. So, let's take 40. I attack. Kip attacks. In Discord he shows me. Or they show me, but it goes. I send 45 ships. And it's going to take 2 ticks. 1, 2. He's got literally 1 hour of game time from seeing it to responding to being able to do anything about it. Now, he's got 78 ships here. And I feel a lot of times people would never leave their entire base this open. I know I can lose this, and I can lose a lot of things. But I'm going for a quick kill. And so I am successful in capturing this star. And at this point, I'm like, well, good job. But then I'm like, wait a minute. There's 19. I do the math. And where we're at right now, weapons, we're 4 and 4. If I get a siege breaker, I did the math, I win that. And if I do that, I don't think he's going to expect me to do that. And with the distance here, I'm there in 6 hours. right? His closest thing is 7, right? And the other thing to take into account is his home star has a research station, which is a -3 to weapons. So now he's got a 1 weapon on here. And so you'll see what happens is, oh, I don't think I catch, no, I don't catch this. Yeah, so now what are you going to do? He could remove his research station. What he does instead is a reasonable play, which is counter-strike, right? Take back the stars. My perspective is I lose 3 industry, I gain 10. So I gain 10 income, and I gain 6 science. So that's a trade I'm willing to take. I have ships coming down to reinforce. I know I'm going to lose some things, but and here comes Waven. Waven he was defending from Kip, but he comes to mess with me, and it's just a beautiful thing. Sending in reinforcements, I take it. Tick 48, I take it. And now when you look here, I see a lot of Stone Ape, and there's really not much coming in. I have enough tokens that if he were to attack, I could take out this research station that gives me a -3 in weapons to get a +1 specialist. But I don't even need to, because I think the threat of me doing that, quite frankly, is enough. So, what do? We continue the battle. I push back. I take back my stars. And it was about here that he calls for a ceasefire. I've reestablished my stars. Waven came in to mess. But at this point, he said, I'm too distracted. He actually made a deal with Kip, and I'm not going to divulge all of the details of that, but because I promised I wouldn't. And Stone Ape, I am a man of my word, despite you think I'm not. But he said, give me 9 stars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Something like that. 10, 11. I don't know. There's he asked for something like those 9 stars. And so for the next long time, these stars over here are free game. Some other things happen that distract me, but if you zip ahead here, I do capture these stars, and I am in position here. So Stone Ape is essentially removed from the game in terms of, he's a vassal pretty early on. But what happens is, as I'm committing these forces, and the reason that I accept the ceasefire is because while I'm doing this, I get the answer from the Order of the Eye. So front number 2. Remember, at this point, I'm just stabbing, or not stabbing, I'm just taking the capital of Stone Ape. And Order of the Eye is setting up. In that moment, I have all my ships going south. I have nothing up here. I mean, I have a little bit defending against AJ because he was defending, but look around. There's nothing. It's desolate in the 68, and then it gets worse. 187 ships. And it was at this time that I'm like, yes, I will accept your ceasefire. I'm just retaking this star here, but I've got bigger fish to fry. And Lord M comes in huge. He sends some ships over, and he starts to attack. Without Met, I am toast. I am completely out of the game because I committed down to Stone Ape, and Order of the Eye had free reign. AJ was being good. He was pushing north. So what happens? Yeah, that happens. 180, 188, 186 ships coming in hot, and I'm defending it with one. Boom, got him down to 180, and so you can see Met coming back here, doing great teamwork, and this is a pivotal moment for Order of the Eye. If he launches straight up into here, I'm toast. If he launches for my home star, which he doesn't have vision of, but he would cause some damage. Now, the thing is, this black hole had been, well, actually, even now, it's currently owned by Ape. Ape could have told him he's got 10 ships on his home base. You've got 180. Hop here, and I am dead. There's nothing I can do to stop that. But for whatever reason, they must not have communicated or had the intel. He splits off. He sends 20 ships up here, which I'm like, oh, I can easily defend that. So that's just 20 ships thrown away. He takes this star, fine. And then, takes that black hole. That's fine. It's at 142. Now he's coming in. Now with the black hole, he had vision of everything. He comes in for this one. And it was at this point, I had rallied enough ships on my own raider, which is the ×2 speed, because I couldn't keep up with him. But I did the math, and I was able to get ships to defend and invest in a general. And with that, so I get my ships there, right? He's got 142 against 49. But I win because I had a general and he had minus from the raider. So a huge victory there. A big sigh of relief. And I said, whew, thank you for that. Wave 2. So right as I'm finishing that off, go back a little bit. Right as I'm finishing that off, 208 come. I've got shit. I've got nothing. I have 48 on my home star now. But up here, right, I'm going to blow up that original 20 that got sent. I was at this point begging AJ, can you send me some ships? Can you gift me some ships? I'll give you these 2 stars if you gift me ships. Would not do it. So at this point, you could see that the ceasefire with Ape had kicked in because I was comfortable then sending these 77 ships away to start to reclaim my stars down here. He didn't leave anything behind. I just had to deal with this 208. What's that 208 going to do? Besides mess me up. So I reclaimed my black hole. I see, okay, nothing else. Met is still doing a ton of work with me, doing a great job. He had a nap at first, and over here is Order of the Eye, and Met has a wormhole, so he's messing with him over there. He's messing with him over here. He really saved me this game. And so if I lose this star, so now if you're Order of the Eye, what do you do? Well, he comes down here, and I'm like, okay, he's coming for my home star, which is he should have done the first time. But the other thing is, I had the range. I built a warp station on my... When did I do that? Yeah. So as he was coming in, my defense was to take these 50 from my home star and get him up to the front line. And so I used the warp gate to get into position. So as I land, and I figured I could do a similar thing, because it was going to take 2 ticks to get to this star, I figured I could blow up these with another general. And again, the tokens are coming from the Alliance. So now I'm like, okay, he's coming here. I need to get back and defend my home star. But again, he left that undefended, so this other group can retake here. So he actually, at this point, hasn't really... He's taken some economy, but he hasn't really done a ton of damage. This 123 and my general's still 6 hours away is enough to defend this. And again, I have a raider here, so I can, if he tries to snipe one of these other nearby stars, I still beat him to it. He finally leaves, and what I told him is, at this point, he was being attacked by Met. He was being attacked by, I forget who all now. Multiple people were attacking him. And I'm like, you're gaining nothing sitting here. If you retreat your ships out of my base, I will not follow. And because I had this agreement in the south, Kip was doing good on Waven. Amethyst and Vambrance and those guys are doing good on Waven. So I didn't have a large threat in the south. This Chiffmon was friendly and preoccupied with the south of him. AJ was still being peaceful and attacking up north. And by the way, completely isolated from the world. I'm at 6 weapons to his 3. So I just had to get order out of my base so I could do something. And my alliance and even non-alliance members did enough. So as he moved out, I moved out. Yeah, and then how long? Okay, yeah, so he was just moving. And now, yeah, so there he goes. So now he's leaving, right? And it was at this point that we go into the third phase of the game for me, the third front. So I dealt with Stone Dape and essentially turned him into a vassal on Day 2. Order of the Eye did a nice job hitting me. Not a great job of doing damage, sustained damage to me. Now, it kept me preoccupied till cycle 86. And in this time, I haven't really done much, right? Like, I took out Stone Dape with Kip, and then I've defended myself. The rest of the alliance jumps on Order of the Eye. And at this point, we're keeping up in tech. So it was time for me to grow. And the only place to grow was to my north. So right now, Wave 3 begins. Now, I guess some other things to bring up. In this time, oh geez, JSE is almost dead. Hitchhikers starts getting attacked by Karmadrome. And let's go through, well, let's finish this off and then I'll go through the alliances. There's a lot that happened in the rest of the map I just wasn't a part of directly. What I was directly is neutering Stone Dape, defending against Order of the Eye, and then growing myself. Finally, on tick 88, I said, okay, it's time for me. With him leaving, I need to very quickly grow. Because if I don't grow, I'm sitting at this point on 30 stars. And I know, like, Maps is on 60 stars. And I have, at this point, 59. Maps is like 150 economy. So I am grossly behind at this point in time. So I say, all right, it's time to go. It's time to grow. It's time to kill. And that's what I do. Because the other thing that's nice is I'm at weapon 6. AJ's weapons 3. This AI, he's an AI up here. It's weapons 2. I'll take that all day long. And so I'm taking my raider that was defending right to the capital of AJ. And I'm just sending everything up at this point. Yeah, I did clear out Waven down here, and I start to poke on him. So maybe that's the fourth front, but it's nothing significant at this point. I'm really focused on the north. And so I push, and again, it's a newer player. This is nothing to be like proud of. He made a mistake here. If you look, he had 138 ships, but he had the research station. He had a research station with 3 weapons. That puts him down to 1 weapon against what my 6 turns into 4. It's still a bad trade for him, and so my 64 ships takes out 140 ships. Right? That shouldn't. He should have done the math, used the calculator, and adjusted. He could have taken out that research station and stopped me. So now I took out these stars around here, right? So I took out this star, this star, this star. I'm heading for there. Right? I'm going for the jugular on him on his home star. And so now we're moving on up. We've got a nice solid block here. And again, I skipped over some of these. Now, look at this. 140 ships against 11. There's no way I can defend that, right? Think again. Think again. So here's what I did. I got as many ships as I could. I turned the research station into a space dock to get more manufacturing, but it doesn't hurt the weapons. And at this point now, I'm the defender, which helps. I get my raider out of the way, and my 41 ships takes out his 140 ships. Easy. Easy. Because, easy because I added a saboteur. So he was at 1 weapons, and I was at... I got an upgrade to 8, so it was plus the defender bonus. So 9, it was 1 versus 9 weapons. And that's how you take out 140 ships with 40 ships. Losing 10 is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So the assault continues. And again, that's probably one of the different things about this game. Like, you can't do that in Neptune's Pride, that level of manipulation using the specialist tokens. So now I am solidly here. AJ quit. He's a bot now. I'm sending up more ships. And now we are in cleanup mode. So here's the other thing that I'm worried about. I'm telling Lord and Vambus. So this warp gate right here, or this wormhole, is directly tied to Vambrance down here. And I'm telling him, don't go through it. I'm telling Met, you just keep doing what I'll take care of this. I need a little bit of growth. And I would say there's been 2 key points in the game so far. 3 key points. Number 1 was this little maneuver of me using the warp gate and then siege breaker to do a very quick snipe on Stoned Ape. The second one was talking Maps into joining. He was very big, and he was on the edge of... He was being recruited by both teams. We got to him just in the nick of time. And I'll tell you right now, without him on our side, we lose. 100%. He was a neutral party. He had eaten a bunch of AI. He was big. But we were closer and were able to trade tech with him, so it made more sense for us for him to go with us. He would have had to build a space dock, I think it's called, or I don't know, trade. So I built mine. The trade port. He would have had to build a trade port. He didn't have the tokens. There was no way for the other lines to get him tech, but there was for us, and so we were able to convince him. So that was number 2. And number 3 was right here. I need stars, right? At this point, I'm at 42, and I know there's other people 60, 70, maybe even 80 stars at this point. The big threats, we're starting to make progress down here. Big threats are Absentee Ape and Karmadrome. They're big. They're probably much bigger than me, bigger than anyone on our team, maybe Maps, but I needed to get these stars. And I knew this guy was going to come through very soon. So you can see, because AJ starts attacking Lord, he retaliates, and I'm like, oh crap. And so, surely enough, there it is. I was just about to send my 244 ships to take that when Vambrance shows up. And I said, oh crap. I don't want to lose everything, because I know there's more stars up here. So, what do? I see a warp gate right here. Oh, that's not what I do. I send my raider. Oh yeah, I did the math. I'm like, he's probably going to be able to get these stars. I can't stop that, but um, but with these two, I should be able to get these two stars. And what I want to do is create a little wall, and so I can get all this. Establish a border. And if he tries to hop over me, I can just outpace them. So again, they're my alliance. But this is the point where you need to be a little bit selfish to get some stars, because I'm otherwise, I'll finish 7th, 8th in the game. But if I want any chance to win, because I was a team player with Stone Tape, at some point you need to be selfish and get stars for yourself. Lord Met had already been able to get some easy stars. Vambrance has been able to get some easy stars. Like, I need to get some easy stars now. And so this was it. This was my one shot this game to grow. And so I see this up here. I see them coming, and I'm like, okay, my raider's coming up. You can see he's got a raider coming up, but I've got way more ships because I had started way sooner. So right here, this to this one play, it's 2 hours with a warp gate. With a raider, that's 1 hour. Same as this. So I anticipated this raider doing something. I had effectively cut off Vambrance, but Lord Met, who is my savior and I love, but I need stars. I need to get this star, because if I get this star, I cut him off to everything else. If he gets here, now he starts getting all this stuff, and so that's bad. I didn't know he was going to make that jump, but he did. He jumped there the same tick as me, but because I had more ships, I won. And at this point, I just start talking to him in Discord, and we both see all of this. And I just say, hey, would you just go over to the west and let me get to the right? He's like, yeah, but they're all easy stars. But I'm like, yeah. I mean, if you want to race, we can race, but I got a lot more ships. I've got a lot more reinforcements. He's not going to be able to snipe off these other stars. It's really a question of what do we do up there? And so he... and I saw, by the way, I have no binaries this whole game. Here's my first binary star. So I make a mad dash for it. And he was nice and said, fine, I will leave. And so he went back here, and he starts to go somewhere elsewhere. And this play, this negotiation with him, is going to make all the difference, because these guys, again, I'm on 8 versus 3 weapons. They're both bots. I've got no pressure anywhere. Nobody's attacking me. Don't I look like a little gnome? Like, there's little legs, little arms, little gnomish hat, there's a little nose. Anyway, and so now I start to do that, right? I got up again. There was a warp gate. Luckily, the AI doesn't mess with that. Doesn't destroy warp gates. And at this point here, I can zoom out a little bit more, and you can see I just start to take over. And this is interesting. This wormhole, like, there's nothing, right? This is the edge of the gate. There's nobody over there, and I'm guessing there's no one to the north. I'm guessing this whole thing up here is all empty, which would be great, because I can just create some very efficient ship movement to get everything back down south, and then we're going to talk about what's going to come next. Yeah, so this is where we're at right now. I have effectively, secured this entire north, and with that, I'm at 56 stars, which I'm now. I think Maps said he was around 67 or something, so I'm gaining on him, because now Maps has to be fighting the leaders, and so. Look, so my gnome grew. Like, now this is gnome nose, and this blue is this little gnomish hat. And then Lord Met is like a little backpack. Isn't that cute? So, yeah. Front 1 with Stone Ape, front 2 with Fighting Off Eye, front 3 the north. I should get all this. And so now I need to start thinking about the threats. So let's go through the threats next. So the threats. We are on tick 130. We're focused on the north, but we now need to be looking, and again, there's been a lot of other things going on in the world, but what are the big threats? So let's start with our alliance. We have me, Grey Mason, Order of the Stone Ape. We have Lord Met. We have Vambrance. We have Kip. We have Hitchhiker. We have Sifmon. We have Podso. We have Maps. We have Amethyst. We have Calvin. We have now the Administrator. His first 32-player game. Goes by Shoes in Discord. We have JSE. We have, I think that's it. Yeah, that's all. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 out of 32 are on our team. Now, how many are on the enemy team? And we're just going to go through that now. Let's go back to the top. We've got Ruthless Trader, who went through this wormhole early on over here. I think I may actually be able to show, but it doesn't really matter, I suppose. Well, let's show it. A couple of ticks ago. I'm trying to get my scouts into better position now. Yeah, here we go. So you can see this is where, this right here connects to Ruthless Trader, and he's taking out, like from day one, has been just assaulting the Jewish Star Empire in a very mean way, effectively removing him as a threat. So like when we say like we have JSE, he's a vassal, right? He's not doing anything. Who else is a vassal essentially? Well, nobody else yet, but I'll tell you who's going to be. The Administrator is going to be. Calvin's been mostly AFK. He's been assaulted by Waven and will be. Hitchhiker will be. And so when you look at like, yeah, we have a lot of people, but who's like contenders for winning if our alliance wins? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I would say right now he's getting first place, potential for second. I can't totally tell. They're all close, and I think like then there's a little bit of a drop in terms of like stars. So that's kind of the tiers, I guess, in size of our alliance, and that's why at this point I'm like, I think our 12 people can win. I need to get those stars up top, and then I'm going to need to figure out where we go from there. But let's continue. We have Ruthless Trader. We have Stone Ape, who is a 9-star vassal. We have Order of the Eye. We have Karmadrome, much respect. We have Absentee Ape. I forget who they are, but they're a good player. We have a Limiting Factor. We have Orange Man wasn't with them. He's over here. He was with OMG Pancakes, I think. They weren't part of the big alliance. R3DM is also, like, I actually think the last independent player over by Maps. Maps will eat them later. There was Jason. There was Waven. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, there's going to be a lot of complaining, but there's 8 of 32. So we have 20 of the 32 accounted for. And at this point, Waven is now a vassal. We have a vassal in Jason in there. So really, really we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the 5 people that our alliance needs to deal with. Podso had a non-aggression pact, has just ended it in 24 hours. Now that Orange Man and Pancakes are taken care of, can start hitting Ruthless Trader. Kip, now that they resolved Waven, can as well, but they could also hit Limiting Factor. So Kip will probably hit Limiting Factor. Kip's kind of in the middle. Has done a great job. But I'm not worried about Limiting Factor or Ruthless Trader because you between Jiffmon and Amethyst and Kip and Podso, they're going to take care of this southern part. I don't see myself needing to do that to get in the way here. I think I would be getting in the way there, and I'm not going to get enough stars to make it worth my investment. So what I can't see is this giant area in the middle, which I think is mostly Karmadrome and Absentee Ape and Order of the Eye. I think that is where the biggest enemies are. So we're saying this is going to be dealt with, right? We're going to have Ruthless Trader is going to be dealt with, and Order of the Eye is being dealt with. So the 2 big threats in this game right now are these guys, and I think they have the most stars, so that's probably where I'm going to need to focus after the north. And Maps is already engaged, which is great because I need them to weaken each other, because we really want Maps to be taking the brunt of the damage, and the he's the only one big enough to contend with these 2 monsters. So who's going to be against Karmadrome? It's going to be Hitchhiker. Can't spell it for some reason. It's going to be Vambrance. It's going to be Administrator. It's going to be Maps. I think those 4 are going to basically be doing that. Lord Ape is basically, Order of the Eye is going to basically do it. So Lord Met is basically kind of 1v1ing him right now. This is being dealt with by Podso and Jiffmon, and maybe a little bit of Kip. I think this is also, they're gonna blend together. So these 3 are taking care of them. And I'm not sure who's on 8. So this is kind of what it's looking like. And so what I think I need to do, I think for me to get on the front line, it's going to be one of these wormholes here, one of these 4 wormholes in Lord Met. Yeah, I could send everything from the south to here, which it's right next door. That would get me over to help with Order of the Eye, and maybe start hitting Ape a little bit. Or I could come down here. If Karmadrome inevitably pushes into Hitchhiker, I could come down behind the front line with all my northern reinforcements, and that's probably the play. I probably aim for these 2 wormholes, come down here, Hitchhiker crumbles, Vambrance absorbs, and then I come in, and Maps hopefully gets stuck behind here, battling but not able to really grow as fast as me because I'll be ahead of him. That's the plan.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, click on the link for the next episode, and don't forget to click subscribe for more content.